Man, real stay safe shit. You already know what the fuck going on. Before we go into this, make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe so we can run this shit the fuck up. Now let's fucking go. So, it's December 9th, 2021, around 8 p.m. Sim 400, rising LA rapper, legend in the game from Compton, is posted in his Dodge Challenger, sitting in his father's driveway, I believe. And he's just sitting, chilling. No one really even knows what he was doing. He was just kind of sitting there lacking. Which, if you're from LA in general, it's never really a good idea to sit in your car and just wait. Especially in the way that he was. He was sitting at the very end of his driveway. So, number one, he couldn't escape fast. His car was turned on super loud. Probably like alerting himself of his position and stuff. His car was running and he was just sitting in it. And the thing about it was he was parked front ways in his driveway, so he couldn't see if people were coming, couldn't see anything, especially with the loud car and everything. Like, he definitely was lacking in a place that right now is not safe. Inglewood, California. Now, before we get into everything that happened with Sim 400, we should probably talk about what's currently going on in Inglewood. Now, I wouldn't say Inglewood is the worst, absolute worst neighborhood in LA. Like, I've been to Inglewood a couple times. Like, I'm not from there. I'm not gonna pretend like I'm like a fucking like expert on gangs or anything like that. But just based off of what is happening, and if you're like living in LA right now, you know that there's some crazy shit that's happening out there. Basically, there's like several gangs in the area. One of which is like probably the most prominent and one of the most influential gangs in the nation, because they were kind of one of the people that kind of came up with gangbanging. Like, but we're not gonna get into all that. But basically, Inglewood Family Bloods, which is a set of blood gang that is in that area, is having like a very public like beef with Rolling 60s, which is the Crip gang that's somewhat in the area, but it's really just like close by. But it's like whole area doesn't span through Inglewood, but they're close. Part of the reason that this happened, that is like so available to the public to see this shit, and it reached kind of a breaking point, it was when Baby Capone and Indian Red Boy, who were two Inglewood Family Blood members, basically like sprayed over a Nipsey Hussle memorial and basically vandalized it completely, showing utter disrespect to the Rolling 60s, like basically like the Barack Obama of the Rolling 60s, who was assassinated basically like 2 years ago. So they were just dissing him and shit. And then that kind of like, we don't even know if this is like attributed to that, but that was like the most public thing that happened that kind of like showed that these sides were not showing love to each other. These sides hated each other and were like mortal enemies for sure. Fast forward a week after that, this didn't happen in Inglewood, but Indian Red Boy was gunned down on Facebook Live or Instagram Live or Facebook Live, and he was shot in the face basically in Facebook Live, and he was a member from Inglewood. Definitely some crazy shit going on there. We can fast forward from there to probably like a month or two after that. Inglewood Family Blood member alleged, and also rapper Frosty the Snowman was riding around in Inglewood and was almost gunned down. He was shot several times, and his best friend Darby, who was also an Inglewood Family Blood member, allegedly was shot and killed. And they don't even know who the fuck did that. And honestly, all these shootings, these are all like, we don't know anything about this, but this is just kind of like what the narrative is coming out right now. But basically, like, they were gunned down. We don't even know if that was even someone from the Rolling 60s. But this is just another example. People who are associated with Inglewood, being from there and gangs there, fucking getting shot. And that was in Inglewood. So, setting the scene, Inglewood is not safe. I mean, like, I wouldn't say it's not safe. Like, it's probably not safe if you're a gangbanger. Like, it's relatively not safe if you're a normal person. You could just be there and get caught in between both of this shit. And that's what people are kind of saying happened to Sim 400. He isn't part of the Inglewood Family Bloods. He actually comes from allegedly a blood set in Compton, Pyru, same one as like YG and shit, I'm pretty sure. But I guess they have a strong ties with the Bloods in the region and their allies. I think as much allies as you could be. Obviously there's like individual beefs and shit that people could probably be going to, but like that, he was definitely affiliated, and he wasn't really even from that area. He was like stopping through, probably gonna go and see his family. They were saying that his grandma lives in the area. I think they were saying that he was visiting his dad, and he was sitting in his like Dodge Challenger outside. Now I guess he had gone to that area several times and had thought like, oh, nothing had happened, I must be good. He's probably been going there for years, but I don't know if it's having to do with something that was like not knowing the area well enough to know that like that area is in enemy territory, or what was happening. But while he was sitting there, someone came up to him. Somebody like walked up the pathway to his car and went up to his window, and actually, like, despite what people were thinking, like they didn't shoot at the car at all. That's what is like the most confusing thing I feel like about this situation. Is like the person, like when you watch the video footage of what happened, it doesn't look like the person, he even knew him. It didn't look like he knew him whatsoever. Like, because while he was sitting there, the dude went up to his window and said, "What's up? What's up?" And when that sort of occurred, like it wasn't like he said anything that was like, yeah, this is for this, or this is for that, or like anything like that, where he was like kind of saying that this was for a reason, or like anything that made it apparent that it was someone that he knew. And I really don't even think that it was someone that he knew. Personally, this is just theories and shit. I really feel like, and this is what it was kind of reported right now, they're saying that he was at the wrong place at the wrong time. And it definitely could be believable, because like you look at all these instances of all these people that are basically being gunned down and shit, that are all like kind of associated with Inglewood and everything. Like, I'm honestly, people were even saying that it wasn't the Rolling 60s after this. I don't even know if that's true or not. All I know is that there's a lot of shit going on in Inglewood, and it's definitely a war zone right now. I wouldn't say it's like a war zone, like niggas blowing up cars and shit, but like a lot of people are getting shot, and it's, I don't know, it's messed up, it's fucked up, and it's definitely not cool. But at the same time, this is shit that probably has gone down like generations to generations. Even if it is the Rolling 60s or not, there's definitely a war in Inglewood. People were saying that it probably wasn't the Rolling 60s in this, but isn't that what people would say regardless? Like, if they don't want to fucking get indicted and get a RICO and shit, wouldn't they be saying that it wasn't them? Or if they were allied to some 400, wouldn't they say that it wasn't the Rolling 60s, so then they could get back and not be, and then it could just seem like some random shit. Like, if you pointing fingers at other people, that would be kind of like snitching, right? Like, if you were saying that it was them, because then the cops are probably going to investigate it. But knowing the cops are probably not going to investigate this shit, because to them it's probably just another gang murder or something. But I don't know. In the news, they're basically saying that it was like wrong place at the wrong time, and it really seems like it was wrong place at the wrong time, because he was like posted up in his whip, like sitting there. Like, that's like a red flag. Definitely. Like, you shouldn't be sitting anywhere. LA, as the fucking like police union is saying right now, it's like the purge, even though it's not like that. We going outside, but it's like the type of place where it's right now, there's just so many people, there's no fucking cops like to be seen. They're there every now and then, but not enough for the fucking 13 million people that live in this damn county, you feel me? And it's like, there's nowhere in LA that I feel safe enough to be sitting on my phone for long periods of time, like in my car while it's running. Like, I couldn't, in Hollywood, I wouldn't want to do that shit. Like, in fucking, like, it's because it's not, like, I wouldn't say it's not safe, but it's not safe. That's probably like the best description of saying it, because it's like niggas, like, even if it's not even some gang shit, like a crackhead will come up to you and probably do some crazy shit if you fucking sit around lacking and shit, especially when you can't back up and drive away and you're just caught in that scenario. Like, it's fucked, man. But it definitely seems like he was at the wrong place at the wrong time, because it looked like the way that the person came up to him, it looked like if he had to just gotten in and left or did whatever he did, he would have been good. But he was sitting, loafing, man, like posted. and it's just an unfortunate scenario, and it's a very it's just sad, but it's also just another victim to this ongoing gang violence that's happening in Inglewood. And it's just like, I don't know, man. This is just like, for other rappers, they need to just go around, stay smooth, you know, like not be doing all this other shit, not be posted in places, not be like lacking, just sitting around and stuff. But it's easier to say that shit when you're not the person that's been there and their family's there, and it's like that. I guess it seems like another home for you, but I guess people are just watching this shit, and whether or not this is related to that, we will probably fucking never know. But it's just unfortunate, man. But it's just like part of the ongoing conflict, and I guess people are really talking about the whole motive of everything, and they're saying that it could be tied into this shit. But whatever the fuck is happening in Inglewood, we probably won't fucking figure it out. Not us, unless you're really in the shits with it. But hey, if it was the wrong place at the wrong time, then it's just another victim, man. But hey, stay safe. Stay safe out there, definitely. Real stay safe shit. You already know what the fuck going on. We posted. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, and fucking cop some motherfucking merch, man. Hey, we out. Peace.